for this video, I'm going to show a couple different methods for solving pseudo-Vs. I'll start off with what I think is the easiest method and then show some more advanced ways of recognizing them and potentially doing multiple move pseudos. To start out with, I'm just going to explain what a pseudo-V is. I think it is a lot easier to understand if you know how pseudo blocks work on 3x3. So I would recommend watching a tutorial on pseudo blocks and FMC techniques. So essentially what a pseudo-V is that you're solving a V, and after you solve the cube, it's going to be one move off. So in this case, like, I'll give you an example. This bar is solved, but this edge isn't. To solve this edge, I know I'm going to have to do an L, and that doesn't solve L4E. But if I see here, so I have this edge solved, this edge solved. That only leaves me with 4 edges, which is L4E. So I can do an L4E alg, and then I'm just left with one move away. Okay, so the basic method for recognizing pseudo-Vs starts with finding which edge goes in the bottom after you've made a pseudo-V like this. So in this case, it's the red-yellow edge, and that's right here. And you want to imagine that this red-yellow edge is actually the green-yellow edge, because when you do the final move, you want the green-yellow edge to be solved. So the way you find the right orientation is look at the bottom color. That is what you want to look for. So that's red. So I'm imagining that this red is yellow and this yellow is green, because yellow is on the green side. And then I look over here for the edge that goes in the top, which is the yellow-green. And I see that the green side, the green center is on the red side, and the yellow center is on the green side. And I can change the colors of this piece so that green is red and yellow is green. So then that means that this edge would be solved because that's red and that's green. And then I can just go ahead with recognizing what L4E case I get. And in this case, I have a hedge with a U prime AUF at the end. And if you look at it, you can kind of see how these are the same cases. So I would solve this like that. And I can solve this very similarly. But I have this extra move at the end. So doing the pseudo-V also works when your V is just one move away from being solved, because it's the same concept. And sometimes it's useful to do this because it can save you some moves or save you a rotation. So for this example, I can solve the V with that move, but I'm going to do a pseudo-V instead. I see that the piece that goes in the bottom here is the red-green edge, which is right here. The green is supposed to go on bottom, so I picture that that's yellow, and the red is green. And then I see the piece that goes here, which is the yellow-red. That's right over here. Once again, I picture that the yellow, since it's on the red side, that's yellow. The red is on the green side, so that's green. And then I can recognize L4E, that it's this case. And then I just have L prime at the end. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a different type of pseudo-V. In this situation, I have these two edges solved. This edge is unsolved, and the pseudo-V needs to end with a B prime. And the recognition method is the exact same. I first look at what piece needs to go here. This center is undisturbed, so it's the same piece, yellow-green. And then I look at what edge needs to go here. That is the blue-yellow edge, which is right here. the blue center is on the red side, the yellow center is on the blue side. So I imagine that this is red and this is blue. And then I go ahead with recognizing L4E because this edge is unaffected. And I see that the blue bar here, this edge is oriented but not solved. And then this edge, I see I have this case. And then I have a B prime at the end. And you can see it here, it's the same thing. For the more advanced recognition of pseudo-Vs, you need to learn 3-sticker recognition for L4E. And after you learn 3-sticker recognition, the way you apply it to pseudo-Vs is you find what piece goes on the bottom. That's the red-green in this situation. So the green piece is what's important. That's my first sticker. And then the other 2 stickers, the way I pick them is I want to see what pieces are here. That's the yellow, red. And I want to look at the 2 pieces that are not the yellow, red, because that'll make it easier to visualize what the case is. Because then if you know 3-sticker recognition for L4E, it's going to be the exact same concept, the exact same recognition, except that this piece is different, but that isn't that important. So in this case, it's the blue-green edge and the red-blue edge, and I would pick the blue stickers for the recognition. And I can see I have this case and solve it. Alright, so the way you recognize multiple move pseudos is using 3 stickers. Okay, so the way you recognize multiple move pseudos is using 3-sticker recognition, and to make it easier is you need to have kind of a mental map of how these moves at the end are going to affect it and what you are solving to. So in this case, if I'm going to do an R prime, L prime at the end, I'm going to have to know how that looks at the end, that this edge is solved, this edge is here, that's there, and that's there. And after that, I can go ahead with doing replacements or 3-sticker recognition. This is something that's a lot more advanced. I haven't really used it in solves, but I'm sure there are some situations where it is beneficial, but it's not necessary at all.